And we have coaches, the head coaching staff over from Norco, joining us tonight along with Jason Sabolic, who is going to play in the last game of the COVID season this upcoming weekend. We're going to talk with him. You all know Jason has been joining us this year from the LA City section, one of the few schools that have been getting some love on TV. So we're going to talk about his last game up and coming. But right now I want to talk to Randy Rosenblum. Randy, how you doing tonight? Randy coming to us from his enclave in the Truesdale Estates of Beverly Hills, of all places. Randy, thanks for taking the time out tonight. Of course, Coach Sabolic, congratulations on at least getting some pub for your team this year, man. It was such a hard go this year. Weren't sure we were going to have any games, and lucky for you. Let's go with Randy first. Randy, tell us about what's coming up this weekend with Camino Real, and then we'll talk to Coach Sabolic about what it's like being the last game of the year.
Yeah, it's really great for the LA City section getting the exposure, playing 2 weeks longer than the CIF Southern section. So it's all about the city football. San Pedro has been great. They knocked off a very good Banning team last week and in the process scored 60. But as for El Camino Real, they play senior night tomorrow night. 11 seniors will be playing their last game in Woodland Hills. That'll be great. They'll be hosting a pretty good Cleveland team that's 2-1 on the field and 3-0 overall. They had a forfeit victory. So Cleveland is feeling really good about themselves, and they feel if they can knock off ECR, they'll have a chance to win the league title. But Jason Sabolic's team will have something to say about that. I'm sure the coach is fired up about senior night.
I bet they are, Randy. It's great, especially in a season like this where everything was up in the air. Really, nobody knew anything. You couldn't get a straight answer from anybody whether or not anybody was going to play. But it's just great to be this far along in the season, even though it is kind of weird playing in pads. Approaching March already. You should have already been a ways through spring ball. But Coach Sabolic, you guys are coming into your last game this year. What's the mood like right now over at Camino Real?
Well, just to give you a little insight, Rich, I still haven't gotten a straight answer, and we're entering now week 7 of our shortened COVID season. But, I'll tell you what, everybody on campus is just so thrilled with all of the opportunities we've gotten for everybody here on campus, the kids being televised on TV, and some of the students getting to help out Randy with the telecasts. And we love getting the pub, and the turnaround is very, very quick. I think we counted. We'll start back. We'll give them a few days off to rest their bodies, and we'll come back and we'll start lifting weights. And the day we start, we got 67 practices left. So it's a short turnaround. We're ready to get rocking and rolling on to the next year. And everybody's just excited. The first thing that you have to do is start building a little pub on the streets. And I think that's what we're trying to do, and starting over and building a new regime and, doing it the right way.
And it's tough this year for you because, number one, your numbers are short, and then to have a few key injuries doesn't help either.
Yeah, and not to mention the kids just have to work. A lot of the stuff that came up with COVID was, parents losing their jobs and kids having to pick up the slack, so they have to go get a job on their own, and football practice falls by the wayside. And then you have kids that play multiple sports that want to get a little bit of both that can't be in both COVID cohorts, so they have to go and choose one over the other. And so it's a difficult situation for everybody involved. It's so variable. We're definitely exhausted. I might take one day off to recharge the batteries, which is a first for me. But we're excited to be able to be playing and one of the last standing.
Yeah, let me ask Randy. Randy, set the table for this game this week, the final one.
Sure, yeah. Coach, last week you struggled a little bit against the ground game of Granada Hills. So how are you going to fortify the defense and slow down Cleveland, who also likes to run the football?
Yeah. Well, we came up with a different defensive plan this week. We knew what we were getting into when coming into Granada. I think they've run the ball 150 times in 3 games without one pass. And so we knew we were going to be in for a physical fight. We knew we were down in chips. We knew DeJohn Stanley was a heck of a running back. This week we feel the same way about Cleveland. We're taking the same approach, but I just think now we're just one more game mature. And for our young kids, these kids that, 50% of them have never played a down of football, 99% of them never played a down of varsity football. So every day they get better. We'll be better than we were last week. I can tell you that much. We got better in practice this week. You start to see some of those aha moments with these kids, and the light just goes on. And that's really the exciting part, and one of the reasons why I'm just, super excited to get started with the offseason and finally get a 7-on-7 opportunity against another team and get the kids one more year of experience.
Hey, Coach, what would you say, you're talking about next season, what would you say your biggest takeaways were from this season? You have some exciting returners, and can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we grew up a lot, and I talked to the kids about finally allowing themselves to play the game of football without any type of reservation mentally. Going out there and having a good time. There's a lot of expectations on these kids, and a lot of them put the expectations and their unrealistic expectations on their own shoulders. We live in such an instant gratification social media world where these kids expect to score a touchdown every time they touch the ball. They expect to look like the guy that they're watching on highlights in college. And that's just not the way that it is. They don't see the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into the decades of building that product up. And so I think one of the things is just breaking down the idea of how to play the game, how to respect the game, and how to do right by it and get stronger, get faster, go out and take reps seriously instead of taking reps off. And I think the culture and the enthusiasm for me, and the fact that these kids don't quit. They've gotten their tails whooped a couple of times, and I'll tell you what, they're not afraid to fight. And they'll go in and they'll get their tails whooped, but they'll just hop right back up and start going again. And so resilience, toughness, enthusiasm, I think are the three biggest takeaways for me this year.
Great. And the old saying is not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. As long as you get up the last time, you're good. So, Coach, congratulations, on your season, despite the challenges. But you did make some inroads, getting a lot of publicity for your school, which is always great. And, that's a good way to start it. Reach out, to the media, work well with them, and everything else will take care of itself. As long as you're doing the right things on the field and practice.
Appreciate you. I can't wait to be back with you guys once again starting in the fall. Be excited.
All right, Coach. We'll be looking forward to looking for the game. That game is when again? Friday night?
Tomorrow night, 7 p.m.
Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Hey, what are the replays on that? If you get a minute, Larry, you can shoot those to me. Text them or what, 4 o'clock?
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
4 o'clock, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday on the replay, LA 36. So, plenty of time to check out the ball game. Coach, like to appreciate it. Like to thank you for coming on, and good luck this weekend on closing out the prep football season for 2020.
Thank you, Rich.
You got
Pleasure being with you guys. Thank you.
All right, Coach. Thank you. All right, where's Bob Gibson now? We guys still got Bob here, or is Bob frozen in time? Bob, I thought you were going to give Coach a bad time, man. You're talking a lot of trash behind his back, man. You had your opportunity to say some stuff to him.
ECR, man, we're happy to see ECR doing well out there.
Hey, Bob, look at Bob's face.
What happened to me?
It's better, Bob. You see, you're looking at your bank account right now going, whoa.
I'm frozen in like somebody just kicked my dog in the ribs or something.
All right, well, there's Bobby Gibson. He's actually.
You can hear me, but I look a little stiff there, don't I?
Serious.
Bob, I see account balance 0 is what I'm looking at right now. A little concern on your face, man. Anyways. Once again, congratulations. And Randy, hopefully they'll close it out with a big W this time.
Yeah, I think they have a chance. Cleveland's a beatable team. It should be a competitive game. Yeah. ECR's defense got some takeaways last week, and if they can do that again this week, they will have a chance at home. It's not unbelievable if they pull this off. They do have a legitimate shot to win tomorrow night.
And with Narbonne out of the mix, with all the shenanigans and all that, not having a real dominant team in the city section, it would have been an interesting season in the playoffs for sure this season.
Yeah, I think Birmingham and San Pedro have separated a little bit, although Venice has an outstanding club. And again, you're right, ECR may not be at that level yet, but it won't take a whole lot to get to that level because there isn't the discrepancy. You don't have a team like Narbonne that was miles ahead of the rest. That's gone now. There's great equality in the city section. Even the top 2 or 3 are not that far ahead.
All right, now we're going to change gears, go to the southern section, and we're going to talk to some guys that gave the big bully on the block a black eye this year. And we're talking about the brain trust over at Norco. Coach Chuck Chastain is with us now. Coach, which one are you? I can't see the graphic right now. There he is. Coach, congratulations on finally somebody beat Corona Centennial in your league, man. That was amazing this year. I did watch that game. I didn't even know it was on at the time. I was flipping around, and once I saw who it was, I stopped and I watched that whole game. And what a show! What a show!
Our kids work real hard in the off season, and our league, you got the giant there. You got a nationally ranked team every year, and the goal is to win the league before we get to the playoffs. And we just continue to try to chip away at it. And this year, the ball happened to bounce our way, and we're proud of our kids. And it's just the resiliency there showed. When a lot of people were at home in this COVID deal, our boys were out here working hard, lifting every day. You saw that with their resiliency in that game.
Coach, now for all the viewers out there, go ahead and set the table, the significance of beating Corona Centennial. If I'm not mistaken, it was, 57 games in a row or thereabouts that they have run roughshod in the Inland Empire, undefeated in their league.
Yeah, 57 games in a row they won. A couple years ago we were pretty close. We didn't end up pulling it out. Last time they lost was to Norco in 2009. And before that, believe it or not, the last time they lost was to 2000 Corona. So other than the two Norco losses, they haven't lost since 2000. So it's a good feeling around here right now. But we've been telling our kids, now that you've gotten at the top, you've got to maintain it. You can't just be satisfied. So it was a great moment to have that win. But at the same time, we consider ourselves to be a pretty good football program. So we can't dwell on that. We got to get ready for next year, because I know next year is going to be a hell of a fight.
Yeah, the impressive thing about that win, Coach, is you weren't lucky in that game. There was no luck involved at all. You guys basically went toe-to-toe with the bully, and I'm not just saying that in a negative sense. That's how dominant they are. That's how good they are. They're a national power every year. It's modern-day Bosco modern day, and then Centennial. It's been that way for the last decade. But you guys stood toe-to-toe the whole game with them and never flinched, never blinked. What do you attribute that to? Because that was supreme confidence in that game.
You kind of hit it on the head. The one thing we've had problems with in the past is overcoming adversity on the field with them. We're able to hang there for a while, but then something goes awry, and they score again. You're trying to press. It happens so fast, and then you're down chasing points. And when you chase points with them, good luck. I mean, you're chasing cheetahs when you're not that fast. So you've got to find a way to minimize your mistakes. But the biggest thing, the only difference really in any of the other games that we played is just the resiliency of this team's determination to overcome adversity and stay together. And I think the biggest quality you maybe saw of us is we played like a team for 4 quarters and played hard. And that's our ultimate goal. We thought this team we had this year would be special. It was going to take a while to get there, losing what we lost last year. We knew we were young, and we thought mid-season, somewhere in league, we were really going to show. And the most proudest moment of the year is I think we were able to peak with only a 5-game season. And, it's a great feeling. I just wish what we could have accomplished maybe in our playoff division, but we're lucky we got to play the 5 games and be 5-0. So we'll take it.
Hey, Coach, I know you were excited about the upcoming season. You have 22 starters you're going to be returning. What can we look forward to seeing in the upcoming football season here?
Well, honestly, the pressure's on us now. We got saw in these LA rankings somehow. We went from you might laugh at us, we went from unranked in Riverside County to start the season to being ranked for 1, which when's the last time you saw us not ranked in Riverside County? So we were kind of the unknown this year. So we're going into next season as a known team, and we play a gauntlet. We're going to open up at Vista Marietta. Then we're going to get Santa Margarita at home. Then we got to take off on the road to Rancho Cucamonga, come back home from Marietta Valley, then turn around and go to Rancho Verde. And then we get the league and get Centennial in week 7 again. 8. So, we got a gauntlet ahead of us, but our goal is to be battle tested and ready for maybe the Division 1/2 playoffs wherever we fall when we get there. So the key for us is with all those kids returning, the pressure's on us to coach them up and for them to perform. And that's the expectations our kids have for themselves. Now we gotta step up and equal that.
I want to talk to your line coach you brought here, Charlie. I want to ask you, what was the difference this season? You guys been able to pretty much handle or play equally up front with Centennial, because that's not normal. At least not in the last decade, it hasn't been.
We've kind of hit some rough roads. We get out there with my guys, and there's a game plan put in place, and they usually go out and execute until a mistake actually would happen. This year, they just they said it was their time. And, the guys who watch the game, you can see that in that box all game, hey, they controlled it. We ran the ball, we threw the ball, and, they wanted it. I had 2 seniors that came back to play their senior season, even though it was 5 games. And, that was kind of their motto, that they wanted to go out on top and whatever it took. They were driving me crazy the entire shutdown, trying to figure out how to way to get in the weight room and lift and just work on footwork and technique. And, it was a hard time, but a pleasure.
Well, anytime you lose 2 seniors that are on your offensive line, it can hurt you. Do you have some up-and-comers that are going to take their place?
I'm working on that right now. I basically gave them the weekend off after Game 5, and we're right back in the weight room, trying to figure out how we're going to replace it. My center was a 4-year starter, first 4-year starting lineman in program history for a program that puts out a lot of offensive linemen. Both guys are 4.5 GPAs, and they're both going on to play college football. And it'll be hard to replace, but we have some young kids who, have always looked up to them, who want to fill their shoes and be just like them. So it's kind of been contagious. Every year it seems like I lose 2 or 3 big guys, and we always got to find a way to fill that spot. And I got about 4 or 5 kids that want it, and that's what's always nice.
Charlie, in your opinion, what was the significance after winning that ball game over Centennial? And for those of you out there that don't know, that was a big win. That's a big win. Nobody had beaten those guys in the big – and was it the Big 8 the last time you guys beat them? Was it the Big 8 then? Okay. So it's been a long time, but, that's a long, long stretch for anybody to not be defeated in league. I mean, to have that many victories in a row is just crazy. I think Paulie's the only one that exceeded that in the Moore League that I can recall off the top of my head, but it's pretty impressive that you guys snapped that streak. What was it like after doing that?
It was a great feeling. I mean, especially with, what we've all gone through. Every day, every hour, it changed what we're allowed to do, what we can't do. And, to get the kids to follow you and to go in and do what they did. I mean, it was, I think we were all kind of on a high for a couple days. I mean, it was something pretty exceptional. The kids realized it, the town, the community. I think the cell phone was ringing nonstop for 4 days.
Heck, the media thought it was significant, We were on the phone with each other yelling and screaming about that game. Really?
Trust me, we were celebrating all night. We have usually a barbecue at my place every night, and that night was no exception.
Great. That is crazy, man. Hey, Bob, you out there?
Yeah, he's out there.
I know he's got questions, but I can't see him, so I don't know if he wants to talk. Go ahead, Bob.
I just want to bring up 2 numbers for Coach. 258 and 68. That's the points for Norco this year and the points against Norco this year. Big stretch. I mean, 51-6, 65-6, 42-0, 62-20 were all the blowout wins this year for Norco. Of course, the Centennial game was just a couple of points. But how much was the offense feeding off what the defense was doing, and then vice versa? How much was the defense feeding off what the offense was doing as well?
Coach, can you hear us?
Bob was muted.
Oh, Bob was muted. Well, he wasn't saying anything anyway, Coach. Coach, he wasn't saying much. He was asking if it takes. Bob, are you still there? Can you hear him now, Coach?
No.
I love it. All right, never mind, Bob.
You need new headsets.
Anyways, that was a great question, Bob. I can't remember what it was, but it was great. Let me tell you that right now.
He was talking about the blowouts.
I wanted to find out, obviously you have a returning quarterback coming back in the fall, Kyle Crum, who engineered the big win over Corona Centennial.
He was great, Randy.
Who you play for.
He was great.
Crum was great. But
in that game.
Coaches, how do you build around Kyle Crum on your offensive side next season?
Well, the first thing we got to do is protect him, losing the 2 linemen that are going to Division I. So we got to keep him upright. Other than that, I don't know if it sounds cliche or not, but not much. Kyle is going to do it himself. That's what makes him so special. When we were in the COVID deal, he was leading workouts. He is a student of the game. He's bugging us every weekend. Can I come into game planning? He wants to be there. We have complete trust in him in that game. I'm going to be honest, we almost punted in that game. And I don't know if you watched that part, but he called us off on the side and said, no, we're not going to punt. And we said, all right, we're going to put the ball in your hands, kid. And he said, give me the ball. And he made that 4th down conversion. So the real growth around him is give him the tools he needs and then let him go to work. He's got a special capability, and never do you have to trust that he's being selfish or just wants the ball. He understands how to win, and as long as we coach guys up around him and let him have the opportunity to have the ball in his hands and make decisions, we believe he's going to make the right decision. That's really what separates him. So we got to keep him upright. But other than that, it's in Kyle's hands we trust, and that's really the truth around here.
He was very good in that game, Coach. He was stellar. He made no mistakes, especially when it counted the most. You know?
Yeah.
Those last drives.
He's not a mistake guy. Not a mistake guy. He's very cerebral and very pointed at what he does and really puts the time in mentally. And if you ever get to meet the kid, you'll see that instantly from him.
Well, he was very poised because, Centennial did come back. They were starting to put a little pressure on you late in the game, but it didn't seem to affect him as much, especially being only a junior in a game like that. That was a huge game. I don't think anybody, except maybe you guys and your team, expected to come away with a victory the way you did because, again, it wasn't like you guys got lucky. You weren't hanging around like you said. You guys were pretty much leading. You guys took control of that game and never relinquished it. You guys were relentless.
Our kids told us going in, we're not scared. We know what we got to do to win. We set the game plan out there for them, and they executed it. So, and Kyle, like I said, he's the one that leads us there. Obviously, you said we see it in Kyle. I hope now with the publicity a little bit on him, some of the colleges start seeing it because whoever picks him up is going to get a special kid who's going to find a way to win and a will to win. Is going to elevate any program that takes that chance on him. And when it gets tougher, you only see the best out of Kyle, never the worst. So our kids were just pumped up all week and accepted the challenge, and we're real proud of it.
Well, Charlie, the pressure's on you now to keep your line together, build a better line, and like Coach says, keep your quarterback upright, keep Kyle upright. You guys might do a lot of damage next year.
We got to get to our tough preseason first, and then we're going to get Centen again, and that's no easy task. But, it's when you look at the way CF has the divisions, it's a catch-22 there at the end, There's some pretty elite teams that we could run into. But we'll face, like Coach said earlier, the ELAC said, we're going to go fight. Our kids are going to fight. We're going to give you everything we got. And,
yeah.
You're going to, at the end of the day, you're going to fight.
And Coach Weinkauf, like I was saying, that's the burden's going to be on you, man. Because if you can't get some guys to replace what you're going to lose this year, you're going to have to coach them up, like Dan just said.
Yep.
Yeah, the burden's always on me, right?
That's right, baby. The nameless face, but hey.
We'll get it done. My boys like to work, so it's no weekends, no time off.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was a great season for you guys. It's about time, and now, Centennial's going to have to work harder. They know there's an equal on the block, maybe even a bigger dog right now. And so it's going to be fun. That Big Eight's always fun. It's fun in wrestling. It's fun in basketball. It's fun in football. And nothing's changed out there in the Inland Empire. But, guys, congratulations on a great season. You guys obviously deserve to be in that top 10. And who knows where you'll land next season once it gets started. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys were in the top 20 in the country next year, just based if you can knock off Centennial again and go undefeated, you guys will definitely be up there in the stratosphere. But I know you guys don't look at that stuff. That's what we do. But just a great season for you guys. Fantastic.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having us and recognizing our program.
Well, let's face it. Norco has a lot of history. It's just not very recent, but you guys are setting the new, might set the new standard. Who knows? It might be your time to make a run in that league.
We hope so.
Yeah, I know. Look at Coach. Yep. All right. We got Bob back yet? Bob, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Bob, you were on the dark side of the moon a while ago, man.
I was, man. I'll tell you. I was just asking Coach really quick, how much was the offense feeding off what the defense was doing? How much was the defense feeding off what the offense was doing? Because the 258 to 68, the points for and the points against, which is huge this year.
Coach, you hear that?
No.
Jason, did you hear that?
I can tell you. He was asking, it looks like, how much was the offense feeding off the defense? It was 268 to 68, and he was asking how much was the offense feeding off the defense and vice versa.
Points scored against points against.
Yes.
Honestly, the biggest thing you've had to accomplish in the past is Centennial is going to score points, right? This is modern day high school football. No one shuts out anybody unless you're super elite on defense.
Right.
So the fact that our kids were able to get multiple stops on fourth down and take away, for the most part, their running game, which was they rely on for the play action pass, set the tone for that game. And our offense kind of went out there for the first time feeling pressure that we didn't have to score every time, because our defense was going to get stops, and that's the first complete game we've been able to put together where both sides were in trust of each other and playing together. So the defense set the tone in that game 100% and allowed us to kind of wake up on offense and then start to dictate our pace of play. But without the defense, it was MVP of that game, hands down. And they set the tone all night for us and giving us opportunities to make plays.
Well, whatever you were doing, it certainly worked this season. We certainly hope you can sustain it again next season, but it's like anything else, man. Once you become, and you weren't a Cinderella team because it wasn't like you were that far off of being an elite team in your league just because of Corona dominating everybody the way they did, made it look easy. But, you won't be able to sneak up on anybody this year. It's going to be, I don't know, what'd you say, payback, Dan? People are going to come after you now?
Yeah, how are you going to keep the kids motivated each week? You got such a tough schedule and you got to keep them going and
that you do.
Not getting too overconfident. So what are some of your strategies for that? Keeping them going.
Well, the talent itself here will kind of check your ego at the door. I mean, we've been in the playoffs, without counting this year, the last 30-plus straight years in a row, which is the Inland Empire record. So these kids feel the pressure all the time. Nobody wants to be that class to not go to the playoffs, and everybody wanted to be the class to beat Centennial. Now you got to be the class to defend that work. But the pressure's already here, so I don't really think we need to motivate our kids on responding every week. It's just making sure we're coaching them up, keeping them healthy, and making sure that we're playing our best football. But our kids are motivated to play all the time, and they know what's ahead of us schedule-wise, and they have goals for themselves. And that goal is to try to be one of those top-ranked teams and make a run of the playoffs. So they're going to be ready every week. And most teams we have a little bit of history with, so there's enough there to keep them grinding on it. But the key for us is just going to be keeping guys healthy. The short turnaround this year is the biggest obstacle I think that we have in front of us. We're 12 weeks and then we're live again in helmets.
The good thing is, Coach, is everybody's in the same boat as you, man. You all got to bail one pan at a time. You're all in it.
Yeah, that's the truth.
So it's gonna really take some planning, a lot more thinking about what you're probably going to do than the traditional, well, we have this much time, 100 days or whatever it is, to get ready for our first game. So, everybody's in uncharted waters, but, you guys did fine, and I'm sure you'll continue, You definitely have the nucleus there, no doubt. See another good season.
That's the goal.
Well, we don't want we're not putting no more pressure on you, right, Dan? They're just average, right? They're all right, right?
No. We're the only high school in the city. Remember that. So the pressure, wherever you go in this town, there's pressure. Everyone knows who you are wherever you go.
That's right.
There's nothing new around here.
That's right.
Keep that winning streak alive.
All right, guys. We'd like to thank our coaches for joining us tonight. Jason Sabolic, of course, Charlie and Chuck. That was kind of tricky, guys, trying to remember your name. So we're going to go. Charlie's the head coach, and of course, Chuck's the head coach. I'm sorry. And then Charlie Weinkauf is the line coach. But you guys are hand in hand. You guys did a fantastic job. And Jason, just keep going, man. We're going to keep following you guys, try to pub you guys up and get you guys going over there at El Camino in the city section.
You bet.
All right. So on behalf of everybody, Randy Rosenblum, I know we got Bob's freeze frame in his voice. And we have Dan DeForest. I'm Rich Estrella. Thanking you all for joining us. And we'll see you all next week. Continued success, coaches. Good night, everybody.